Let's go back out to Detroit. Amber Theo Harris is standing by with the Orioles Hall of Famer Eddie Murray and Orioles catcher Matt Wieters.
Well, Eddie and Matt, two switch hitters. Eddie, I don't want to make you feel old, but Matt told me that coming up, he would watch Chipper Jones, and that's how he would want to become a switch hitter and be a player. And for you, was there a switch hitter that you had, or is there a player that you had that you watched that made you want to be in the big leagues?
Well, no. I'd say growing up in L.A., we had the Dodger infield, which was an all-switch hitting infield, and we thought that was a pretty cool thing there. But if Matt likes the third best switch hitter of all time or something, I mean, that's his prerogative. No. Anybody else, I would say no, there was no one. I started the year before I got to the big league, so it was nothing that was planned out for me being a kid to be a switch hitter.
And I didn't mean the old thing, but it was a generation. I grew up watching Eddie, you grew up watching Chipper. What was it? I'm sure you knew about Eddie Murray, and did you learn more as you became older and now becoming a member of the Orioles organization?
Definitely. The one thing that I really found interesting that he didn't start switch hitting until a year before he's in the big leagues, and it's something that I've been doing since I was 5 years old, and you know, that seems like it's really tough for me to wrap my head around that he was able to make the transition in 1 year and be able to hit from both sides of the plate.
Eddie, did it make it easier for you because it happened so quick and you sort of were a natural and somebody noticed that, or was it more difficult for you to play catch up in that sense?
Well, it was accidental the way it actually happened. I found out that hitting left-handed actually shortened up my right-handed stride. So then, I don't know, but my manager is sitting there just drooling watching me hitting the ball. So I'll never forget one day we getting ready to play the game and I'm getting ready to go hit and I'm hitting fourth. He calls me from the on-deck circle and I'm going, I know he can't be pitch hitting for me. Well, I come over and he says, hey, you ever thought about hitting left-handed? I said, sure, I can hit left-handed. Well, I walked up to home plate. The first pitch I saw, I hit a double. Well, the next pitch I saw, I got hit right here. The pitcher got offended that I was on the left side and was able to hit him. But, you know, it was just a thing that I always started to try and teach all the kids and dads that when you're teaching a kid how to switch hit, he switches sides and he might freeze at that ball that's thrown at him. So I've always recommended that you take a tennis ball in your back pocket and you throw some balls so he can hit, but then you would always take that tennis ball and then hit him. Now he's not caught at that moment of where that ball is thrown and you freeze on it.
Matt, when you are around other switch hitters that have had success in the big leagues, I mean, to say the Hall of Fame is success is an understatement, but when you see guys like Eddie Murray, do you pick their brains, or even players that are still playing that are switch hitters?
Well, I think you sort of want to get to know, what their work habits are, because that's the hardest thing for a switcher is being able to put the time in both sides. And for me, you're always going to have one good side and one side that doesn't feel as good. So to sort of be able to figure what kind of work habits that they put in the cage and how much time they devote the side that feels good and the side that doesn't feel so good is sort of what I try and find out from different switch hitters.
It's obviously more difficult, but what are the rewards? Why did you want to be a switch hitter? I knew you always were coming up, but why do you remain that way? Because some people might get to the big leagues and realize this isn't for me, switch hitting.
Stay here. Stay here. We know what we're avoiding here. Yeah. That's that pitch called high and tight. You
got high and tight and get rid of the slider going away from you. It comes into you instead of going away from you, so it makes it a little bit easier there too.